Testing. Yeah. Welcome back to Live in the Huddle podcast. It's been a long time coming. Had to take me a little break. Season was over. Had to take a little break. But we back. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back, cousins. Episode 18 Fall Camp. Now, before we dive into it, um, any announcements? I know we got some things lined up. Me and my boy Ray. Shout out to Ray. Ray's podcast. We got a couple things lined up. Um, but I really can't even get into it with y'all what them things is. Y'all just gotta sit back and wait for it, you feel me? But football is starting back. We got college football. As you see in the back as you see in the background, we got college football on. NFL is in camp, college football is in camp. Um Season here. So let's go ahead and just jump into it a little bit. Where do I want to start? We're gonna start right here. No, we're gonna start here. So recently, we had a player from Western Kentucky, Victory Vaca, who was a transfer to Western Kentucky. Um, he transferred there for his final season of football. During his final season, which is this year, unfortunately, his mom's passed away. RP moms. And when that happened, he informed the team that he was going to be taking some time away to go back home, handle his business, bury his mom. He gave his team a date of when he would be back. His team said, "That's fine. While you're away, here's your summer workout. Do your workout, get in shape, and be back on this date." He said, "Cool." I want to say 9 days before he actually buried his mom, his position coach called him like, "Yo, where you at?" He was like, I'm home burying my mom. It's like, all right, I'm pretty sure a discussion happened. Cool. Probably was like, "Hey, you need to get back." He was like, "Nah, I already talked to everybody. I'm good." I want to say the following day, he gets a call from the team saying that, "Hey, we are kicking you off the team for failure to report." And to me, it's crazy because I just lost my mom. I'm letting y'all know ahead of time, "Hey, I'm going home. I gotta handle this." I'm letting you know ahead of time that I'll be back on this date. You even okayed it and sent me the summer workout. I'm doing the workout. Position coach hit me up like, "Hey, you need to be here." I'm like, "Nah, I'll come back on this day." Now all of a sudden I get a failure to report. Now, what's crazy about this is because of the failure to report, technically he can't play this last year. He can't transfer anywhere else and play. Now, thank God, him and his agent today, actually about 2 hours ago, they filed a restraining order against Western Kentucky, which in theory should allow him to transfer somewhere else and play his final season of football. His agent already came forward before and saying that, well, if they wouldn't have played it this way and if he would have just left, they had other teams already lined up who were willing to take him and he could go in and start playing football. But because they played it the way that they played it, which they played it wrong, they played it messed up. It is what it is. It's a business. I'll turn this on. Because they decided to play it that way, it kind of messed them up, right? Not only that, this is another reason why I'm all for players getting paid. We see right here, this man's mom's died. He goes home to bury his mom. All of a sudden, he's getting hit with a failure to report to camp. Well, not even camp, for summer workouts. Now they're saying he's going to have to sit out his season year. This is why I'm all for players getting paid. Go make that money. This is also another example how coaches will get you to a university. They have all types of tactics and tricks to get you to a university to make you think it's cool, make you think they're cool, just for them to show you their real colors later on down the line. And he just seen in real time their real colors. And there's plenty of examples throughout the years of other people who went to universities where coaches have just blatantly lied to them to get them to that university, just to mistreat them, to do whatever they want to do with them. Because essentially, before NIL and this transfer portal, a player's career was in the hands of the coach. And depending on how that coach felt, hey man, you could be SOL out the gate. Now, moving right along, since we're talking about football, I will be on the next video talking about NFL camp, going over some things, certain players, teams, um, roster moves, all that type of stuff. Um, I will be doing that for the NFL and for college football. And in October, I got a surprise for y'all. Halloween, I have a surprise for y'all. Now, being that we're talking about football, let's kind of transition to the NFL. Something a lot of people don't know, the Art Rooney rule in the NFL. Now, this is a rule that all the teams have to abide by. And this rule is put in place to add diversity to the coaching staff, giving people of color and women an equal opportunity to become a coach, not just a head coach, but a coordinator. Now, this past season, we only seen one quote unquote diversity hire, and that was Robert Sala becoming a coach with the Tennessee Titans. Now, you've had other coaches of a certain ethnicity get opportunities, but their opportunities are not as long as other people. We see them get a shot, but one singular shot versus somebody else who gets multiple shots. To me, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, it is very crazy that to this day, Byron Leftwich is not a head football coach in the NFL. To me, it is very crazy that the talent for African Americans is good enough to be on the field to play the game, but not coach the game. Yes, we see some coordinators who are African American. Yes, we see some head coaches, but in reality, you only get 1 or 2 seasons. If you're really not producing, you are up out of there back to being a position coach, if not going back down to college. While you see other people get numerous opportunities. For instance, Kevin Stefanski. Yes, you won Coach of the Year 2 times, but really, bro, when we look at it, you suck as a coach. You can't call plays. You don't tap into your players' abilities to bring out the best of them and call plays in alignment with your players' abilities. We'll see how Atlanta does this year. That's what we'll do. We'll see how Atlanta does this year. But we see time and time again over the years that people get overlooked, and Byron Leftwich is a prime example of a candidate who is more than deserving, who is more than capable of leading a team, calling plays, and being a head football coach, but yet he is not. Something's got to change, and hopefully one day it changes. But I just don't think that day is today. Moving right along. Now, something that has been in the news all this past couple weeks with football, Ryan Clark getting fired. Now, this statement that I'm about to make is going to completely contradict itself, but it's going to make so much sense. Now, Ryan Clark being fired is very shocking, but it's not surprising. When we look at it, yes, Ryan Clark has had a great career in the league. He is a retired football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I believe at the time the Washington Redskins, who are now the Commanders today, right? Had a great career. Played at LSU, was kind of like that underdog. Um, Had to work his way through an NFL camp, got a shot with a camp, balled out, never looked back. Now, he became an analyst and he did his job very well. I would say he actually did his job very great. He was great at his job. He actually took the time, he studied, the games. He knew what he was talking about. He knew how to deliver his point. He knew how to articulate and to get people to understand what he was saying. He only had one controversial moment. You could say controversial. Don't worry about that. It's a video game. He only had one moment that was just kind of like, eh. It was him and another co-host. I wouldn't say they got into it. They were debating sports, and he said something along the lines, "Well, you never played football, so how can you tell me about football?" Which I do agree with that statement to a certain extent, and that extent is if you never played football, yes, you can't tell me anything about playing football unless you actually studied the game, unless you actually put the time in to understand football and to develop your football mindset. Don't tell me anything about football because you don't know. You just speculating, you just guessing. You don't know nothing about it. Now, a lot of people are alluding that that's the reason he was fired. I don't think that's the reason he was fired. I think that's just going to be the cover up as to why he was fired because that incident took place, I want to say months ago, well over 2 months ago. So for me, something that was a lot more recent, everything was fine until he recently spoke to black athletes who were coming out of high school, who were going to college. He told black athletes, don't go to these universities in these states where they are allowing gerrymander to take place. Now, gerrymander is when a state or an area redraws the lines on a map, on a voting map, so that it can heavily favor one side. Now, Ryan, he went to school at LSU, Louisiana. Now, when he made that statement, we seen that it took place in Tennessee. We think about the schools that's in Tennessee. Vandy, University of Tennessee. It was taking place in Alabama, University of Alabama, Auburn. It was basically taking way all throughout the South, which is a lot of your SEC and ACC schools who, realistically, they bring in a lot of for college football, college sports, period. Now, I completely agree with what Ryan said. I believe that Ryan made himself the sacrificial lamb because you had to have known that one day soon your head was going to be on that chopping block and they was going to chop it off. But I think because you told black athletes how powerful their voice is, how powerful they are, and I think the powers that be, they didn't like that you started to stir the pot a little bit and inform people how powerful they really are. Now, it reminds me of a movie that used to come on Disney all the time, Ant's Life. And the grasshopper, the head grasshopper, he decided to have a demonstration. He pulled out a sunflower seed and hit one of his guys with it. Asked him, did that hurt? He said no. Pulled another one, hit him again. What about that? He said no. He ripped the lid off all the sunflower seeds and they piled up on his grasshopper friend, killing him. He said, now that's the example. When one ant stands up to you, you see it as, oh, it's not a problem. But if all the ants were to stand up to you, they will overtake everything. They will regain their power and they will see how powerful and strong they truly are when they're combined in numbers. A lot of people say, well, that's just a Disney movie, but it's a lot of truth with that. If people were to, just stick together and combine in numbers, who knows how strong they are? Who knows what they can achieve? What could really happen? What could come from that? But hey, it's just a Disney movie. It's not like we've seen messages in Disney movies before. Now, kind of transitioning over to the NBA. If you know we're talking about the NBA, you know who we're talking about, baby. Now, Tony Allen was on a podcast and said that LeBron James does not check anybody on defense. And to me, that's just crazy. To say that LeBron's biggest plays are chase down blocks is crazy. Now, they might be the most entertaining plays on defense, but they're not his only plays on defense, right? Do we not remember when D Rose, young D Rose, was shredding the league, running through the league, and a lot of people were saying like, "Yo, this is the next coming of Jordan"? Because I don't think that people are thinking about that. I remember that. I was in high school when that happened. Do we not remember when LeBron said, "Yo, I'm going to guard him," and locked him up? When a lot of people had, "Oh, Chicago's going to win this series," LeBron locked him up and killed all hope of Chicago winning the series. Do we not remember PG-13 before the injury? LeBron locked him up multiple times, multiple seasons in the playoffs. Do we not remember any of LeBron's defensive moments? So we're just gonna say, oh no, he only has chase down blocks, and realistically, we're only talking about one chase down block, and that was the block on Iggy in the finals. But to say like he doesn't play defense, because Tony didn't say he doesn't play defense, but somebody on the podcast with him said that LeBron is a traffic cone. I can understand if you don't like someone. I can understand if you don't like their game, but to just blatantly hate and say that he's a traffic cone is crazy. I can respect Tony saying no. Mark definitely deserved that defensive player of the year. If not him, then me. I can respect that because we're competitors. We all play sports. We're athletes. I can understand that. But to say that this man, his only great defensive plays are chase down blocks, to say that he doesn't lock nobody up is crazy. I ain't gonna say it's hate because I know you ain't a hater, but that's crazy. Now, being that we're already talking about LeBron James, we might as well finish it with LeBron James. LeBron is heading to Philly. The King has finally made his decision, and it's the 76ers. Now, a lot of people had him going to Cleveland, and we're going to talk about that. I kind of knew he wasn't going to Miami because, yes, that's a lot of big man power, but like I said, it's not a complete roster. It's not a complete starting five. Um, People flirted with the idea of him going to Golden State, and I get it because he definitely always said that he wanted to play with Steph. Like that would be something that's fun. But once again, that roster is just not enough. When we look at Cleveland, I feel like Cleveland had everything that LeBron wanted. I feel like the reason why LeBron did not choose to go play for the Cleveland Cavaliers is simple: point guard. I just left LA, who, no offense, their roster is nowhere as good as Cleveland's roster, but I just love playing with Luca. You think I want to go to Cleveland and play with Black Luca and James Harden? And the reason I say that is because offensively, you're very much gifted. Offensively, you're a top 10 basketball player. But defensively, you are a humongous liability. When we get to the playoffs, it's like you forget how to play basketball. You need somebody to bail you out. Don't say that Cleveland just went on this run because of James Harden. Cleveland went on this run because of Donovan Mitchell. Now, if they was to have kept Darius Garland and James Harden wouldn't be there, and you had Darius Garland with Donovan Mitchell, LeBron would have been there. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Evan Mobley, um, and Jared Allen. That's a hell of a starting five. But because I don't want to play with another Luca, to be quite honest with you, let me look at Philly. Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, who just had a great year last year. Jaylen Brown just got over there. Boy plays championship ball, finals MVP, knows how to win. You got me. I'm a former MVP. I am the king in this league. I still produce at 42 years old, about to be 43. Yes, you have Joel Embiid, who is Joel Embiid. You feel me? Why not? And we got a bench. And we got a coach that can coach. And it's in the East. And when LeBron James is in the East, everything goes through LeBron James. Why not? Why not? Why not? Fuck it. It's my last 2 years in the league, anyways. Why not? Now, something that we definitely need to dive into and go ahead and address, people calling the 76ers a super team. Now, if we're looking at it on paper, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. But if we being real, LeBron James is 42, going to be 43 this upcoming season. Yes, he's going to produce. He's LeBron James. He's going to produce, and we're going to hold them to a certain standard, and we have certain expectations of LeBron James. But realistically, nobody has Philly winning a championship this year. A lot of us think that, yeah, they're going to make a run. Now, next year, we got Philly winning the championship. A lot of people already have them winning the championship next year. Now, the facts are facts, right? And what the facts tell me, let's not look at the names on paper. Let's actually use our eyes and look at what we know. And what we know is Joel Embiid. Yes, he's Joel Embiid, but he's not going to play over 40 games this year in the regular season. He's not. If Philly goes on a run in the playoffs, he might play the first game, the third game, fifth game. If it goes to seven, he'll play. I guarantee. I'm willing to bet money that's what it's going to be. 82 games in a season. He's not going to play more than 40 in a regular season. LeBron James, yes, he's LeBron James, but he's 42 years old, going to be 43 years old. What do you really expect from him? I expect about 20 points because that's what he gave us, 21 points. I expect that. So you got a 42-year-old, you got a big man with a super bionic knee who can't play more than 40 games. You really just have Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, and Tyrese Maxey. Now, if we look at the facts for what they are, the actual facts, that doesn't sound like a super team to me. That just sounds like a regular team with an NBA vet and another NBA vet who's always hurt. Now, if we also look at it, you can't call this a super team because when JB joined the team, the odds of them winning a championship went to 20-1. When LeBron joined, it went to 9-1. Now 9-1 are good odds. They're not great. They're good. Those odds tell me that people only expect for Philly to be a good team in the regular season, maybe make a little noise in the playoffs, but you're not touching a championship. How is that a super team? When have we ever seen a super team assembled and they were not favored to win a championship, if not at least make it to the championship? We have never seen that. We haven't seen that with none of the Celtics teams. We haven't seen that with the Miami teams. We haven't seen that with OKC. We haven't seen that with the Spurs now, or the Spurs before, the Lakers before. We haven't seen that with any quote unquote super team. So now, because it's LeBron James, we're going to use that narrative. Miss me with that. Miss me with that completely. Now, since we're talking about LeBron James and we know he just signed a 2 year deal, we know we have about 2 years and 6 months of people being able to use LeBron as a talking point. And the talking points are going to be how he played, his legacy, where do we rank him. Y'all got about 2 years and 6 months of being able to use LeBron as talking points before we get to see, are you a real analyst? Are you a real journalist? Can you really talk about sports if it's not LeBron James or Tom Brady? We're about to find out. We are about to find out. Now, the East, it should be very fun to watch this year. If Ben Caro figures it out, Orlando's gonna be a problem. Tyrese Halliburton is coming back. Me personally, I don't think Indy's gonna be a problem. Kawhi is back in Toronto. It's Kawhi. You gotta watch out for him. New York is running it back. Now they did lose Mitchell. He is down in Boston right now. Boston lost JB, who was up in Philly. Philly is in a pretty good position right now. Um, Cleveland is also in a pretty good position right now, but James Harden has not signed back yet. Some people have said that he might make that trip to South Beach and go play with the Heat. We gotta see. DeMar DeRozan still hasn't signed. Russell Westbrook still hasn't signed, and I don't understand why there's so much slander for Russell Westbrook, a man who has averaged a triple double numerous of times, a man who is an MVP, a man who goes and he plays lights out, full speed. Now, if you can say, "Oh, I have a problem with him only knowing one speed and that's full speed," okay, I get that. I get that because he's going to give you max effort. He's going to give you max speed. That's just Russ. That's just how he plays ball. But to say that he sucks at basketball, you don't know ball, and you just going with what everybody else is saying. You don't really study the game. You don't really look at tape. You just going off what other people say. Because I really feel like it's not too many players in the NBA who would say, "I don't want Russ as a teammate." I don't believe that. Now, this whole super team thing. And we don't even know if VJ Edgecombe is going to come off his shots because he averaged 16 last season. And it was expected before LeBron and JB got there. It was expected to go up. Even with JB getting there, it was expected to be the same, if not go up. We don't know if he's going to come off his shots. But hey, man, live in the Huddle podcast. I will be back. Uh, I'll be back next week. Another video next week. More clips next week. Um, Shout out to the homie Ray. Ray's podcast. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Go hit up Ray's podcast, man. He is back. Ray actually just hit me up. He was like, "Yo, I'm ready. When you want to record?" So I got to get on point now. I got to get back in my bag. He already got topics he want to talk about. I got to do my research. I got to go look at the tape. I got to go look at what's going on with NFL camp. I got to go look at what's going on with college football camp. I got to monitor the NBA. We're looking at the WNBA. We're looking at baseball this year. We're looking at everything that has to do with sports. We back, baby. Live in the Huddle podcast. Um, Clips coming out very shortly. It's your boy Big Eye. Peace.